What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is going to be why is spring training a thing and why are Will Ferrell and Russell Wilson there? Quick question, MLB original. Now, I've been enjoying these reactions of these MLB quick questions. Very insightful, and for somebody like me who doesn't know the game that well, potentially an obvious question which maybe I wouldn't ask normally because it's meant to be an obvious thing and I just won't learn about it, is answered. Now, at first when I saw this title, I saw why is spring training a thing? I thought it was something to do with actual springs or something like that, but now I'm seeing an image of a hot place, people on the beach, and why are Will Ferrell and Wilson there? So it's not a drill, I don't think. I think it's talking about spring before summer. So I'm glad I clocked that and you can see that on the screen now. Because if not, I'd absolutely mug myself off. Unless I'm mugging myself off and it is something to do with a spring. I don't think it is something to do with an actual spring or something like that. I thought it was like a method of training, but obviously not. It must be the training in the spring instead of having time off, would be my guess. I don't know. This is a quick question. Let's ask the question and find out the answer. Hit that like button, guys. I'd seriously appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as well, you absolute legends. And let's see why spring training is a thing.
Every year, hundreds of fit young people head down south to shake off the cold.
Okay.
You know what it is. Beaches, sunscreen, palm trees.
Not bad.
Russell Wilson. Exactly. MLB spring training. But what is spring training for? Baseball players are ridiculously fit, and they already know what they're doing on the field.
Very true, but surely you can only get better. The more practice you get in, the better you get, and the more of a superstar you become to be a legend in the sport. That'd be my guess. They just want to be the best at their craft. That'd be my guess.
Seems like spring training isn't really about training anymore.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the opposite of what I said. Maybe it's just an absolute party with the lads and you have a good crack. Maybe that's what it is instead.
So, quick question. Why does baseball have spring training?
Let me know.
Spring training is a 6-week period when major league teams hold workouts, practices, and exhibition games to prep for the regular season.
Okay.
But it wasn't always like this. Back around the turn of the century, there was no preseason, as we know it today. These were the days of horse and buggies. You couldn't just get to a specific part of Florida in 2 hours unless you were, in Florida.
Okay.
Players could practice as much as they had time for, but these guys worked second jobs in the offseason.
Oh, wow.
Even pitching legend Walter Johnson spent his winters digging post holes for the Idaho Telephone Company.
Yeah, they were different breeds back then, working 2 jobs, playing top of your game in a sport, and then doing that. Different breeds. Absolute different breeds, man. I'm guessing spring training then, the way it's been described, it's like a pre-season in soccer, something like that. Your team gets together again, you're trying to get back into full match fitness, you have a few friendlies, which mean nothing, nobody really cares about them, but it's just so the team can gel. I guess that is a bit. Baseball's a little bit different because you don't have to gel as a team, maybe as an outfield when you're fielding, but as a batter, it's you there. No one else's influences, it's whether you can hit that ball. So it's a little bit different. So I can understand why maybe they could be against it a little bit. But I suppose on the outfield, you've got people trying to gel together, get used to their throws and stuff like that.
But that wasn't exactly the most popular off-season occupation.
Most of them,
I'm not surprised.
Became bartenders where their celebrity and their storytelling ability sold more liquor. And perhaps in some measure necessitated spring training because they may have consumed the profits.
One team may have gone overboard with the free samples. A.G. Spalding's Chicago White Stockings.
Spalding and the White Stockings were famous lushers.
Okay, got you. So an alcoholic.
And had taken a temperance pledge during the season, but still not for the off-season. So they went to Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Actually, sorry, alcoholic probably isn't the right word, but drink excessively, but probably any certain time. Maybe alcohol is not a straight word. They basically like to get absolutely hammered, is what he's trying to say.
Boil out the alcoholic microbes.
Spalding's field trip intrigued other clubs, particularly since the detoxed White Stockings played so well, even made it to the World Series.
Oh, wow.
By the 1910s, most baseball teams were traveling to warmer weather cities to train.
I'm not surprised.
Places
we like
all
that
over
warm
the
weather.
South were on the menu. Some clubs bounced around for their spring training sites. Cleveland in particular seemed to change their location every few minutes.
And by every few minutes, I mean every different year.
Others preferred a little permanence, like the Wrigley family, who bought an island off of California for the Cubs to train.
Oh, wow. They still train there today?
The Reds were the first to leave the States, heading to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic in the 30s. But it became genuinely necessary for one team.
Most training locations were south of the Mason-Dixon line, where racial segregation was firmly entrenched. So when Jackie showed up and the Brooklyn Dodgers spring training complex, he went to the ballpark and found that the padlocks were on and the game was canceled. So Florida was a problem.
And eventually, it wasn't just the Dodgers looking for friendlier outposts. Cleveland's owner, Bill Veeck, had just signed the American League's first black player, Larry Doby.
Fair play.
After similar troubles in other states, he took his club out west.
Bill Veeck convinced the owner of the Giants and a friend that they ought to train in Arizona, and this was the birth of the Cactus League.
Okay.
This is a nice way to work, isn't it?
Oh, you're not kidding.
As the years went by, mostly for geographical reasons, spring training split into two states: Arizona, the Cactus League, and Florida, the Grapefruit League.
I mean, it makes sense. If you're going to go and train and try and gel with your team and, again, a bit of a warm-up practice, why do it in the cold weather? You're not obligated to be anywhere. Go to the warm weather, enjoy the sun, get a little bit of a tan while you're playing baseball. I mean, that's for life, isn't it? That is for life.
So, if spring training basically started as a month-long detox, why does it still exist when players today live like this?
Very true.
Players are training all year round. They have home gyms and personal trainers and custom regimens, and they start just weeks, if not days, after the season ends. So maybe it's not just about training in the gym rat sense. It's about honing three very different parts of the game: timing, learning, and bonding.
I was right on the bonding and the learning. Not the timing. I didn't think about that one with the batter, but other than that, I nailed it too. I'm quite proud of myself.
See, for a sport that doesn't have a clock, timing is probably the most important part of baseball. For starters, pun intended, pitchers need to work on their arsenal. When a guy has 4 pitches, he'll need to throw them repeatedly and get into a rhythm. The same goes for hitters. Guys have half a blink to decide if they'll swing or not.
Mental,
After
man.
nearly 6 months off, it takes some serious practice against live pitchers to get that rhythm back in full swing. Pun also intended. Meanwhile, lots of learning takes place during March baseball.
Oh,
For
man.
clubs, every season
He got did dirty by the ground, man. Dirty.
brings new battles for roster spots. Teams need this time to evaluate their guys and figure out who's going to actually make the team.
Yep.
Who makes the most sense? Whose strengths are maximized where? Who's going to play left field? For some, it's basically high school tryouts all over again.
Wow.
Some players even find themselves being asked to learn a completely foreign position in only a couple of weeks. Like the Brewers' Keston Hiura, who's sliding from second base to first.
Starting fresh at a new position and relearning things. Got a little Brewers legend and Prince Fielder right here. Pat Murphy originally said, hey, you haven't played the position yet. You don't know what a good glove feels like. Our clubhouse manager reached out to me saying, I have a Prince Fielder glove. And I'm like, are you sure you want me to use that? I mean, I wasn't sure if I was qualified yet or not. But
Oh,
for
wow.
spring training, he handed it to me and definitely was a little nervous to use it at first because the last person to put their hand in that glove is Prince Fielder. But no, it's been great and definitely a story to tell.
Finally, spring training's unsung hero, team bonding.
Yep. So important
There's
in
a lot
any
of roster
sport.
turnover from year to year.
Except from like boxing and something. Well, I suppose even boxing, you've got a team around you. Maybe a solo sport, but you've got a team around you and if you bond with them, make the right connections, it'll definitely help you train. So I'm going to stick what I said in any sport. Team bonding's good.
And new players aren't immune to those first day of school vibes. Clubs spend at least 7 consecutive months together. It helps to know who you're working with.
Definitely.
Team building exercises started out pretty straightforward. Clubs would play improv games, go on fishing trips, or host ping pong tournaments. Team
Any way
bonding
to
trends
bond.
have only gotten wackier and furrier.
What?
When Joe Madden managed the Cubs, he had real-life bear cubs brought to the camp one day.
Oh my god.
And in 2019, the Washington Nationals were visited at spring training by camels. Yeah, camels. See, at that point in franchise history, the Nats had never made it past the first round of the postseason. So, newly appointed manager Davey Martinez arranged for 3 camels to be brought to camp to help his guys visualize getting over the hump.
Oh, I love that, man. That is mad. That is a quality manager right there. That is awesome. Come on, fair play to him. You've got to love that.
Yes, sorry for that one. But it worked, and the Nats went on to win their first ever World Series.
Well, I mean, they got over the hump all right, didn't they? Come on. That is a fantastic story right there. Wow.
Since these games don't count, there's room to get a little weird. Weirder than camels weird. Flashback to 2015 when Will Ferrell made baseball history.
Okay.
Seriously. In one day, the comedy star suited up for 10 teams across the Arizona Cactus League.
Oh, wow.
Ferrell played in 5 games, played every position, and now owns a career 0.00 ERA.
I still made the team, right?
And he isn't the only non-player to enter a spring training game. The Yankees had a then 60-year-old Billy Crystal get an at-bat in 2008. And as recently as 2019, star quarterback Russell Wilson suited up in the pinstripes.
Fair play.
Even Grammy winner Garth Brooks has popped up all over spring training rosters. He's actually knocked out 2 hits and 39 trips to the plate.
Oh, awesome,
so,
man.
in its ever-evolving way, spring training exists to get clubs ready, whatever that happens to mean. Maybe it's not about sweating out a bender anymore, but it still gets guys ready for live competition, and maybe most importantly, helps teams bond before a marathon season.
Definitely.
And if you get to hang out with some fuzzballs and acting legends, that's just gravy.
Oh, wow, that's just gravy, baby. That is the end of the video. We've learned something new today. Kind of very similar to like a soccer pre-season or something like that. What I could have guessed, to be honest with you. Nothing to do with actual springs, which in my head at first I was a little bit confused. But there we go. We have learnt why there is spring training. It's a pretty awesome reason. It means when the first game of the season comes round, everyone is ready and you can hope for the best. Instead of just everyone rocking up and be like, oh, let's try our best, I guess. We don't know what's going to happen. You kind of got a feel and you're kind of like, okay, I've got a good feeling my team are going to produce today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Let me know in the comments what else you want me to react to, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.